me and Kelvin, we are also forced to kind of go into that mode, like do or you die.
Hey, I'm very bitter one. You see, I also complain about people, shoot people online.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Backholder Pod. So recently I released this $1 million by 40 video. So the purpose of this video is not to show that like Singaporeans are poor or anything. It's just to show that even if you do a normal job, you go the normal Singaporean path, even without relying on housing and CPF, you can reach $1 million by 40 years old. So I show from you graduate, you take a normal job, you go through promotions, you just don't spend too much money. Then eventually you just slowly level up your income and you will reach $1 million by 40. So that is this path towards 40 years old. But I don't know, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, a lot of comments say that, okay, $10,000 income is not average, it's not a normal income, it's a high income. So a lot of things that you are saying is there's a lot of assumption here and there. You are in La La Land. Not everyone is so lucky. So that brought me to thinking, actually a lot of people here there's a lot of cynicism, yeah. And I feel like a lot of Singaporeans are bitter about life, bitter about governments, also bitter about foreigners, probably me and Boon Tee coming in. So I don't know, but I also feel that this whole feeling of bitterness is also it's a valid feeling because they feel trapped. Like, okay, we are already suffering. How come the government is not doing more to help us out? How come they only give us like $300 CDC voucher? Shouldn't they give more $1,000 voucher? Like whenever I see the CDC give out thing, right, the comment in Reddit is always like, yay, I managed to save the first month grocery. Thank you, PAP. That kind of like 很欠扁. Like it's free money, you should just take, right? Then even if the government give free money, they'll say, okay, the government is trying to buy our votes, which is not true, right? You can just take the money and vote the other side also. But then I also feel like on the other hand, a lot of them are doing this on themselves. Like let's say a lot of them are aspiring for that perfect Singaporean life. And it's not talking about those condos, probably condo. It's not talking about owning a car, only for the 5Cs, but it's also like, okay, I need to get good grades. I need to have a good job. I need to have a good marriage. I need to upgrade to a condo. I need to have the perfect renovation for my house. I need to have kids. So that's the typical perfect Singaporean life. And if you don't have any of this, we are viewed as a failure. But if you reach there, the bottom levels, the not so well to do Singaporeans will be like, hey, this guy, he must have done something, he must have cheated somebody all the way up. So it's like something is very wrong. Like it's a bit of like crab mentality. So like Eric, do you feel that kind of feeling for you?
I think when I was younger and like teaching in schools, I tend to look at the like very rich people, right, and think that wow, these people don't know what they do to become so rich. Like they will have some sort of gap in my understanding, and then I'll fill it in with info from like TV series and all that. So all the hearsay, like maybe they do like underground stuff and illegal things. They cheat people of their money. Like if I see Kelvin very rich, I say he sell cost, scam people, things like that. Like all the negative things will come to mind. Like when I was younger, maybe like just started working. I don't see how people can earn so much money like in a month. Like how like I earn like 3,000. Well, I think when I first started, I earned like $2,400. Then after like I was confirmed as a teacher, I earned like $2,700. I thought that wow, there's a lot of money. Like my grandma would say that wow, 金高, very good, very smart boy can earn like $100 a day, that kind of thing. Then I feel very proud of myself. And then I hear of people that earn like 100,000 a month, and then I'll be like, how does that work? Like, do they work 50 times as hard as I do? Like 50 times more, spend 50 times more at their work compared to myself? Then I figured that that's not possible. How do they spend so much time at their work? Then I think they must be better, but 50 times better. Then the the thinking start to short circuit. how does someone become like 50 times more valuable? Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying to share with y'all like what was my thought process when I was younger, because I still do not know like about skills stacking and all these things. How the increase can become exponential. I didn't understand that. Like to me, it's all like plus 300块 every year. That's like the logic, right? Like you learn math is like 1 + 1 = 2. Then someone comes and like 1 2 square and then 2 cube, then it becomes very exponential. And then I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so Eric, are you subtly saying that for you, you have graduated in terms of your thinking, right? Because back then you didn't know, and then along your journey, you figure out, oh, there's different ways that you can, earn a lot more, right? So you graduated from that, bitterness. But if you didn't graduate from that, right, you will stay to think of, oh, anyone earning, like high income, those rich people must be doing something bad, nah. So that was your thinking, right? So are you saying that majority of people they are still haven't reached your level, they haven't break through that barrier, and hence they stay within the so-called the low income, and then in terms of mindset also not as matured lah. Is that what you are saying?
That's not really what I'm saying. I'm not commenting on the rest of the people. I'm just sharing my own journey, like when I was a young man, how I think about things, and what I feel is fair lah. Like I feel it's fair for people to earn maybe double my income. Like that's okay. Like, because I can understand that they maybe work twice as hard. Like weekends, I go back home, they stay in the office. Yeah, sure. That I can understand. But you tell me someone earn like 10, 20 times more than me, then that I cannot understand, you see. So I'm saying like because of my limited understanding, yeah, I have this gap, like what I feel is reasonable for people to achieve and what I should be achieving.
Yeah.
So I
I,
don't make a jump like everyone is like that. Maybe they have their own evidence. Like for example, they know a neighbor or a relative that is like, I don't know, doing something illegal or whatnot, then they can scam people and then they get very rich. And then that's when they extrapolated that, and then they say that, oh, all rich people are like that.
yeah. I want to ask, right? Do you think that people need to earn a lot more in order to avoid becoming bitter? Like, are they people that, I'm thinking like 2 by 2 quadrant, right? There are people who earn a lot, there are people who don't earn a lot, and then there are people who are very bitter and then keep on, put on nasty comment in other people YouTube comment sections. There are other people that are not nasty. They are okay. They think, oh, we should be, like positive, like Eric, so positive to us here. So I'm thinking, are they people that who are not earning a lot, but still they are not bitter, right? Does this group of people actually exist? Or you really need to, first do well, then only you become not bitter. So what do you think about this?
Kelvin, you want to go?
Yesterday I was going through this Reddit. So this woman, she's a married woman lah. She's with this guy, but then the guy he went to his parents' place to celebrate Chinese New Year, but he never invite the wife. So, but it was because they were in strained relationship lah, sort of lah. So yesterday, after that whole thing, then the guy said, "Oh, actually we should move on. We should divorce each other." Then I see the comments, right? It's like, then she was asking the question like, I haven't divorced. Should I move on? Should I find another life partner already? Then the first comment was like, is it maybe too fast? Maybe you should love yourself first. then the reply was like, if I'm in a breakup and the person who tells me to love myself first, I will go crazy. Something like that lah. So it's like telling people you are poor, go earn more money lor. Yeah, you don't have a house, go buy a house lor. You don't have a girlfriend, you go find a girlfriend. I don't think it's that simple. So it's like for a lot of people, right? They are in this whole thinking kind of thing. You can't just say, okay, don't be bitter lor.
That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying that if you are bitter, right, go earn more money. So there's a path that, oh, you do well, then you become less bitter.
Yeah,
If
because
that's your goal to become less bitter.
Yeah, because they don't see the path. Like even after I did that whole video, I show the whole calculation. Like I give the step by step exactly. Like you need to get a credit card, spend wisely. You need to get a good job, at least get a degree, get whatever, all these kind of thing. Then they will first say, okay, you are so lucky, you don't have to help your parents. This high salary is really high. It's not realistic. But I already show you the path. That is this path. You just have to take the 3-year, 4-year university degree, graduate, find a good job, get a promotion every 3 to 4 years, which is not impossible, right? A lot of people have done that. Then they'll say, you are all this a bit of assumption, you are not realistic. So the thing I think like a lot of people are bitter is because they don't see the path, even if it's being shown to them right in front of them. Yeah, just follow this. And they say, okay, probably the easier way is to pull everyone down to my level. Okay, this guy is successful, let's go and cancel him out. so that so that I feel better about myself, right? So I don't know. I think a lot of not well-to-do Singaporeans are also happy, but also a lot of not well-to-do Singaporeans are bitter because they want to go up, they want to be successful, but they don't want to, they can't see the path there. And I think probably one of the reason is because how they were brought up. Like, okay, if you're brought up in a not so well-to-do family, then your parents will tell you to do what? You have to get good grades, you have to find a good job, then you start working. Then you go to school, your teacher say you have to get good grades, you have to find a good job, then you'll do well in life. So this kind, they get brought up in this thing, but this thing is where this kind of advice will get you stuck in life because if you're just working, then you're just depending on yourself. There's you can't rely on your parents or teachers anymore. Mah. They say, oh, okay, where's the help coming from? Is it the government? Oh no, the government is not going to help me. Is it the rich people? No, the rich people is going to cheat my money. They can sell courses, all these cheat people, bad things. Is it the property agents? No, they're just going to take 1 to 2% of my income. These are bad people that make the property prices go up. Is it the insurance agent? No, they are the ones who are selling me ILP. But these are the people, if you know how to use them properly, they are the ones who can benefit you, right? Like property agent can help you find better good deals. Insurance agent can help you find, don't know, help you do a lot of work rather than you trying to buy insurance yourself. So I don't know. Like, I think they are bitter. It's just they are in that environment, and to get out of that environment, you have to just change your thinking,
Yeah, not easy to get the toxicity outside of our thought process. Sometimes it's like inherently it's there. So and there's this blame culture, right? You need to blame someone because you just don't want to look at what are the things that you can do yourself.
I suspect for Eric, I don't know if this is true or not. I suspect for Eric, he get out of it not because he wanted to, it's because his environment changed. So he got a wife. The wife forced him to work super hard. They said, you better work hard or no sexy time tonight. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she didn't say that. So without the wife, right, without your environment change, you'll still be in that old situation. I think for me also the same. I wasn't bitter because I'm just coming here to work. I feel like an outsider There's nothing to be bitter about anything. So my environment probably was also changed by my wife So I guess a lot of bitterness, just change your environment, Start from there, I guess. It's not earn more money, because if you don't even have the motivation to earn more money, how are you going to earn more money? Eric,
So,
correct?
maybe I share a little bit about this book called Psycho Cybernetics, something like that. So I think the main gist of the book is saying that everyone has self-image, how they view themselves. Like I'm a humorous guy, like I'm a hardworking guy, or I'm a lazy bum, or I'm this, I'm that. So you kind of have assessment of yourself, which people around you, like your parents when you were a baby, your friends, your relative, imprinted on you since young. So after you grow up as an adult, right, you don't act out of that perceived view of yourself. Okay, so whatever action that you take, right, or whatever things that happen, like for example, there's an opportunity, like someone offers to, hey, I can mentor you, I can help you to do this, that. Then the mechanism will kick in your mind, like, am I such a person? Am I a risk-taking person? Or I'm a conservative guy? I just want to like earn the money the honest and slow and steady way. I don't want to like, learn all these funny things, AI, whatever, not. So it depends on like your worldview, or rather the view of yourself. So you never act out of character. So like what Kelvin say, right? Why myself, maybe himself, will put in the different environment? I would argue that with that, right, you also have to have a new image of yourself. I think coincidentally or not coincidentally, like when we were married, right, not too long after that, we become fathers. So we have a new like identity of ourselves, and then we were kind of like forced out of our jobs, and then we kind of like, okay, we have to start our own business. Then another new identity kicks in. You have to make the rain, because your company, if you don't do anything, there's no revenue. Nobody is going to give you the pay on the 12th of every month like the government. So you got to make the rain. If you don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. So I think your identity is forced to change. So you look at yourself, you think about yourself in a kind of a very different light, and you kind of get going lah, even if you don't feel like it. There's literally no time to think about, oh, I feel like I'm so depressed. Cannot lah, because your kid is looking at you, daddy. you you realize that they're waiting for their milk, you see. You cannot be like, my parents lah, they never sent me to a good university, never, provided for me. All this is like, you don't use those anymore. You don't think about like, oh, the rich people are trying to scam me or whatnot. Like, there's literally no room for that. You have to think, okay, what I need to do, and I need to try this. If it fail, never mind. Let's keep doing another method until the thing works. You remember Patrick, right? Patrick, he do all the
Yeah,
home schooling.
yeah.
Yeah. And then he was telling us he's forced into it. And in a sense, I think we are also, like, coincidentally or not, me and Kelvin, we are also forced to kind of go into that mode, like, do or you die.
So
So you do lah.
imagine this scenario that, let's say, your teacher's career, play up better. Like, okay, you still get the improvement, the promotion, you still continue to stay as a teacher, and then there's increment. But let's take the average path as a teacher, right? So what will happen? Do you think you will have more bitterness in you in that case because you didn't, join in the entrepreneurship path? So would that be the likely outcome?
I would say I won't be so, how to put it, mentally. I won't know about all this, how to make money more efficiently, kind of mindset lah. My view of myself won't change. Like, I'm a good employee. I just do whatever you tell me to do, nothing more, nothing less. 5 o'clock, I clock out, I go home. Like Kelvin, go toilet for 1 hour. So yeah, like, I think the employee mindset is very different. Like, we'll just like be very happy with what we are getting, and then yeah, just complain about it anyway lah.
So really need the change of environment to force you into the difficult path, but eventually work out. That's the environment part.
Actually, for Boon Tee, how are you not bitter?
Hey, I'm very bitter one. You see, I also complain about people, shoot people online.
Like you are from Malaysia. I know you live in the kampong, right? So the things that were taught you didn't make you who you are today. So like, what changed in the middle?
Yeah, I don't think there's things that change in the middle. I compare, let's say, my upbringing versus, let's say, a typical person in Singapore, right? I think the biggest difference is that in Malaysia, like especially like my environment, right, which is kampong, right, we don't have, the competition is a lot lower as compared to Singapore. Say, for example, let's say my primary school, right, from P1 to P6, right, it's only like one class. We don't have like 6 or 7 class. One class is about like 28 people when we graduated P6, right? So it's just these small classes, it's same classmates, and then out of that 28, it's relatively easier for you to arise to, let's say, like the top 5 person, compared to, let's say, in Singapore you have 8 classes for that entire, like, your class, right? 8 classes, just P1 alone. So it's harder for you to become like the top 5 inside that, how many people 200 plus people. So the competition is definitely different. And I think Singapore being small, right, you can always have, like, let's say if you are the best in your, in let's say P3, right, you are the best already. Then in anything, I'm not just talking about academics, right? It could be sport or anything. Then Singapore is so small that, okay, since you are best in this school, right, you are representing this school to versus another school in in that competitions, then you realize that, hey, actually I'm not, the best. There are people better than me. So just because of, small area, easier to access, easier to have competitions among other schools, I think quickly you realize that, oh, even though you are good, but you are far from the best. You realize that pretty quickly. But for me, right, in my small kampong, right, we don't even get to meet other schools that regularly or that easily, So and even for me, I don't interact with those from, let's say, like KL, which, like, that competitions wise they are a lot, intense. So I kind of like living in my own, kampong small world, and don't care about the outside world that much. So maybe that part help a bit, just being less competitions. So I never encountered stuff like Eric encountered, where, very bitter, and then suddenly, wow, ding. I don't have that. It's really kampong mentality for me.
So do you have like any, let's say the son, the mother come to you, yeah, my son are very bitter. Do you have any advice for the mother?
Watch less YouTube, because watch YouTube already, then the bitterness keep on growing, and then keep on typing, become keyboard warrior. Not a good path.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think it's the online thing, right, that make a lot of people comparing each other.
Yeah, I think that's also one.
Okay, any Eric, any more thing to add?
So like, yeah, I think the comparing thing is bad. So I want to ask, how do you stop yourself from comparing? Like, definitely in our own group chat, there's also a lot of comparison, right? Like,
Eric, people compare against Boon Tee, not the other way around.
Because they don't know Eric. If they know, then they will compare against Eric.
yeah, so how do you stop the comparison? Like that, forever your colleagues I'm quite confirmed that they will be, talking about like buying condo, getting the next car, and all these things. And then how do you like still converse with them without like feeling like, hey, I'm not as good as them, or earn as much as them, or move into a good neighborhood or whatnot? How do you stop yourself from doing that comparison?
Yeah. Every morning I wake up early, so I do a 15 minutes meditations. No, not doing that, definitely. So I would say the simplest way is actually you have to pick your niche. I would say. Not talking about skill set wise. I would say that we definitely can't stop ourselves from comparing against others. It's just that you don't want to compare everything, and you want to choose the area that when you do that comparison, then you are likely to win one. So it's a bit like, own self trick on self. So say for example, like let's say if I compare let's say the place I stay, Eric is going to get EC, right? Then I stay HDB, right? So if I compare HDB, lose liao lor. But maybe out of so many things, right? Maybe I can find one thing that I'm better than Eric, right? So it could be anything, right? It could be, play, let's say, chess. Maybe play chess. Last time I also lost to Eric, so cannot, a bad example. Maybe there are some other examples that once I compare, I'm better than Eric, so then I score a win there. So you own self trick on self. I think that also works. But that one, I mean, that is, I would say, partly joking. But I'm sure that you have your own area. We are all different peoples. You have within that specific niche, right? I'm sure that you are better than average person, right? These are things that you tend to enjoy more compared to others. Say for example, those who like photography, they just talk about photography. They are a lot better already. Just as simple as, let's say, when we're talking about Chinese New Year, right? So New Year, people taking group photos, right? Then you will notice that one or two people that they are really good at photography, right? They will just say, okay, I try to orchestrate these things, like where to stand, where to see the lighting. Then he is taking pride in terms of things that he's interested in, right? So you focus on this kind of things rather than the standard benchmark where people comparing, what car you drive, what house you stay, which school your kids go. I think these are the standard one. I think the standard script, right? Just throw that away. That one is really, wasting time and effort. That's my TED talk. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all. Good ending. And with that being said, see you all next video. Bye.
Bye.